Here's DavidS.
Life begins the moment we. It's good that if I remember the first quote, that would be good. Life begins the moment we walk out our comfort zone. The moment we come out of our comfort zone. That was a great quote by a New York Times best-selling author, Neil Donald Walsh. Who's heard of that quote before? No one. Life begins the moment you step outside your comfort zone. Now, here's the thing. How many people here clearly remember a moment when you've stepped outside your comfort zone, did something that you were once scared of, but despite the fear, you did it anyway? How many people here? Right, I think we all have, right? Just by coming to Toastmasters. I mean, look at us. We're an elite group here. We're an elite group here. We come here to practice public speaking. The #1 fear of, what, human adults? It's almost like the #1 public enemy of humanity. And death is #2. Public speaking #1. And as the old joke goes, you know, if you go to a funeral, you would probably rather be in the casket, or most people would rather be in the casket than be doing the eulogy. So I think we should all give ourselves some credit here. The fact that we're all here tonight to practice our public speaking. And I think, you know, we've all, at some point, stepped outside our own comfort zone. Who would agree with me? All right, because life begins the moment we step outside our comfort zone. Now, I'll never forget the first speech I ever made. The very first speech. Now, I must say, it was the first speech I did voluntarily. The rest of them I was forced into. The very first speech, it was when I was fresh out of university. I was just a young kid back then, and I thought, you know what? If I want to create the life that I want to create, if I want to impact the people that I really want to impact, I better step outside my own comfort zone. I can't just do the same old thing, status quo, every single day. And I realized, I had this sudden realization, sudden awareness that, hey, the life that I really want is actually outside my comfort zone. Who's ever had that thought before? Right. It's a scary thought. So at the time I wanted to inspire students, because I was one for forever. So I wanted to inspire students and I wanted to teach them how to succeed and how to become future leaders of our community. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to call myself, if anyone ever asked me what I was doing after uni, I'm going to call myself a motivational success speaker for high school kids. And keep in mind, I had no experience, none whatsoever. I was deathly afraid of speaking in public because of a few instances that are not too dissimilar to what Matt went through back at uni. And I had no content. I had no idea what I would talk about. But because I didn't have to speak, no one forced me to speak, I was in my comfort zone still. I was safe. So, it's kind of funny how the universe sometimes just gives you a little kick up the butt and pushes you in the right direction. And what happened was, a man that I told this to happened to be a teacher. And so the word spread, and suddenly 2 days later I get this phone call from the head of student services of a major college in Melbourne, and she said this: "Hi, is this David?" "Yes." "David, are you the motivational success speaker?" "Yes, I am." "Well, we need someone like you to speak for us in 3 weeks' time. Are you cool with that?" "Sure, of course I am." Because life begins the moment we step outside our comfort zone. And so, long story short, I walked into the school, I struck up a deal with the teachers, so I would speak for 2 hours on the topics of motivation success in front of 200 VCE students. Now let me add to that. I had no experience, no content whatsoever, and there were 200 17-year-old boys. Now, who thinks it's hard enough to get the attention of a teenage boy already? Right. I had to deal with 200 of them. Think about that. Life begins the moment you step outside your comfort zone. And I took that leap. I consciously decided, you know what, I have to commit to this. And I have to commit to stepping outside my comfort zone. And I'm sure we all have done that at some stage in our lives, whether it's committing to a new exercise routine, or committing to a new diet, or committing to come here tonight. We've all done that. And because of that, we become more as human beings. Because life begins the moment we step outside our comfort zone. So, basically, I went to work. I had 3 weeks to prepare for a 2-hour speech. 2-hour speech. I mean, this makes my speech look like nothing. 2 hours. And every single day I practiced. And the day came up, the day finally came after 3 weeks, and I was ready. Because every single day, I lived it, I breathed it, and I could feel it, feel the speech. And the day finally came, and you know what? I have never been more ready for anything else in my life than that particular speech in that particular moment. And I didn't just speak, I engaged every single one of those 200 boys. In fact, you think that's stuff? I got them all standing and cheering, and the teachers hated me for it. And I'll never forget, at the end of the speech, this cool kid from the back of the amphitheater, he walked down, he came up to me and he said, you know, he didn't have to, but he came and said to me, he said, you know what, me and my mates, we weren't sure whether we were going to like you at the start, and we weren't sure we were going to get you or not, but I must say, you're freaking awesome. Well done. And in that moment, I realized, by stepping outside my comfort zone, by doing what's uncomfortable, was all worth it. Life begins the moment you step outside your comfort zone. If you don't try, you won't. Status quo is not okay. That's not what we're put on this earth for. We're not here for status quo. Life begins the moment we take a step outside our comfort zone, and the moment that you take the next step outside your comfort zone, for example by joining the club, marks the beginning of a brand new adventure. Thank you.